Welcome to the Tell Her podcast, a place where we share stories from extraordinary, ordinary women, delve into what it's really like behind closed doors when dealing with life's ups and downs, and how women get the courage and push through and get up every day to carry on with our ordinary lives while doing extraordinary things. I'm your host, Sharni Knighton, and I cannot wait for you to meet some of the incredible women that I get to meet through my work as a hair loss specialist.
Menopause is such a nightmare. It's like you hit that and you think, and I wonder whether women hit that and they think it's almost like a shrinkage. You become you're not who you were before. So do you shrink a bit? And I've thought, no, I'm not going to shrink.
No.
I'm not who I was before. But I'm not going to shrink. I'm going to carry on growing and doing what I can.
Can't imagine you shrinking. I do think there's times in your life where you have that, I suppose at different ages, isn't it? But the difference with when you're at menopause, it's not just that you're getting older, it's that there are physical changes as well, aren't there? And your brain starts to work differently and all sorts of stuff. And until lately, women have not really spoken that much about it. So they've had to kind of hide things and really just try and push through and behave normal, or what was seen to be normal, and pretend that they're not having a hot flush, or pretend that they haven't got brain fog, go to the toilet and have a panic attack and then go back into their meeting. Or like, I have loads of clients who can't even drive at night time anymore. Like, their confidence massively changes. But at least now we are having those conversations, and maybe the women, when they had to make that decision about, right, am I ready to just shrink and kind of fall into the background, they did that because they were hiding so many secrets as well. Where like maybe. Now you're not made to feel ashamed of it, so you don't have to hide anymore. And like, if you was having a hot flush in a meeting, would you tell them that you're having one, or would you run off to, would you deal with it in the moment, or do you still feel that you would have to leave and do it in secret?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I've been lucky in that I've not had hot flushes. I think rarely, but I've just sort of said, it's really warm in here, or is it just me?
Yeah.
And like, I just need to go and get some fresh air or some,
Yeah.
So I think I do think that we talk about it more.
Yeah.
And so when we become conscious about things, that's like we're being educated, aren't we? So therefore we're not like hiding things or not discussing things or even not aware of them, because a lot of things, like I think you sort of expect that you've just learn them through osmosis. It's a bit like parenting, isn't it? We all think that we just inherit parenting.
Yes.
and all of a sudden you have a baby and ta-da, you're a great parent. And so you've got to educate yourself, haven't you? You've got to learn about it. And so for me, there's a massive, as soon as we start on that journey, I think it's really, really helpful, because not only does it empower yourself to think, well, I am having a hot flush, or, I do feel like that. I am honest about it. So I'll say things like, sometimes I might be in a meeting and I forget a word or a name, and I know this person's name, but it's gone out of my head, and and it's almost like you're a rabbit in the headlights. You sat there, and then I just say, I'm sorry, I can't remember the word. It's, I'm really struggling with this.
Yeah.
And seek help in that moment, or seek forgiveness in that moment, because my train of thought's completely gone, and then all I've thought is, why can't I remember this word? And it'll be a really simple word.
Yeah, I'm just perimenopausal. I've just started estrogen, and even with like some of the small symptoms, I don't have hot flushes or anything, but I know for sure, if like you were having those conversations and the women before me weren't educating me and just making it normal, like you say, and just saying I forgot the word, I wouldn't have the confidence to have gone to the doctors and seek help and have that same conversation when I lose words. So it's passing that down, I suppose, for the like future generations, that it is normal and that we can talk about it. And have you found that, obviously you've worked really hard for your career and you are where you are now, was there a point where, if you feel mentally and physically exhausted when you're going through menopause, is there a point where you kind of think you want to step back a little bit, like in your career as well? I know you were saying about shrinking maybe like as a person, but career-wise, does it make you feel like life would be so much easier if I just stepped back a little bit and do a lot? I wonder if a lot of women do that, and that's why we end up with a lot of men in higher roles, because they kind of just keep pushing through, and we have times in our lives where we have to keep stepping back.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting actually, because it's a confidence thing, isn't it? So, you know, I think it might be possible, because you think, you know, before I started on HRT,
Yeah.
I was really struggling, and I was like, I didn't feel that I was firing on all cylinders. And that was really frustrating for me, because I'm thinking, why, you know, I'm used to dealing with complexity, complications, managing, spinning multiple plates. And I was really struggling to keep them spinning, and some of them were falling. And I was like, you know, what is wrong with me? Why am I like this? And maybe, you know, maybe I need to step back or do something different or not do this. And I think that does go through your mind. So yeah, I think that's maybe possible, because it is a confidence thing. You think it's you. And there was a trigger point for me, which was, we went on holiday to Turkey, and I'd become more and more introvert.
Okay.
Just because I didn't feel confident. And we went on holiday, and I hardly spoke to anybody on holiday, which I'm not an outgoing, sociable person anyway, but I usually will speak to people. I'm not ignorant. And then when we came back, Lily was home, and she'd not tidied up to the standard that I would tidy up. Right. So she'd come back, and the kitchen was like left a mess. And I burst into tears about the kitchen. Right, and I thought, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a massive issue, and yet your like emotional response is off the scale. So I thought, do you know what? You need to go and get some HRT, because you've tried everything else, so just go get it. And I think for me, if I'd have not done that, I would have continued to feel less and less confident and withdraw more.